I'm here with Nahani from Freedom 55 Financial, and we're continuing to talk about finances and older people. Now, what do you do if you don't have a pension and you don't have any investments to take you through retirement? What are your options?
Yeah, it can be a tough spot to be in, for sure. Sometimes people haven't been able to sell their business and they were a business owner, and if they can't find someone to sell their business to, they've lost that asset that they might have been able to use to help fund their retirement. There's Canada Pension Plan, so as long as somebody's paid into that, they'll get something from that. There's Old Age Security, which everyone who's lived in Canada for 40 years between 18 and 65 will get. And is entitled to. That's just a product of living in Canada. There is Guaranteed Income Supplement for lower income seniors. And there are things like SAFER, the rental program, and that add a little bit, but not a whole lot. So if someone doesn't own their home, it can be quite tricky.
But if you have a home, then
if you own your home, then there can be some options to use the equity in the home to help fund someone's retirement. Owning a home and using the equity can be a very emotional decision. We get very attached to our houses. People say it's an investment, but if it's a proper investment, you probably shouldn't be emotionally invested in it, but people are. But if someone can see their way to using that, because especially on the coast here, our values have gone up so much, and often that is people's only asset, but it can be an asset worth $700,000, $1 million. And if someone is willing to use that to help fund their retirement, it can change everything for them.
But what if I'd like to stay in my home? I don't want to move. I don't want to sell my home.
Yeah, you can still stay in your home. There are products that allow you to stay in your home, but use the equity in your home. It means you're not going to leave as much to your family out of, say, $1 million home. But if you're leaving $700,000 to them out of $1 million home, or $200,000, mostly our children. I know for me, I want my parents to enjoy their lives and enjoy their money. And if there's something left, that's great, but I'd rather they're using it for their benefit. And most children, I think, have that attitude. Not everyone, but you don't want to assume everybody's the same, right? But most people want to see their parents taken care of. And so use your asset rather than somebody being broke and maybe living on not very good food and affecting their health because they're making choices that are for their children later, when their children are probably fine. If you're living to be 95, your grown children are going to be in their 60s. Do they need the money? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but you probably need it for you.
Now, we hear a lot about this coming up, this wealth transfer, the baby boomers transferring all this wealth to their children. Now, how do you deal with families who want to leave money to their children and yet need the money to live on?
Yeah, there's definitely, this is a life insurance is a great idea at that point, right? Where you pay a little bit and your children are going to get a lot of tax-free death benefit later on that moves very quickly. It moves outside of probate, but some people don't like to use life insurance, so then it is a different discussion. And definitely money is moving intergenerationally, and it's moving. Women are often, we usually outlive the men. And so it's the women making the decisions, and then it's the grown daughters who are often doing the caregiving of the parents who are having to make some of those decisions for their parents as well. And you may or may not have been trained to look at money and to take care of it and to manage it, and let alone to take care of it for your parents, as well as for you, as well as maybe you're helping your children. So that sandwich can really get stressful for people.
So that brings us to another subject. While you're still capable of managing your own finances, what happens when suddenly you are no longer capable of managing your finances and you need long-term care?
Yeah, if you are not capable, you have to take care of this. It's just the grown-up thing to do. Definitely by the time you're 60, you should be aware, I think, that you're going to die someday. And to have that in place. You know, when we're really young, we don't think we're ever going to die. So making sure you've got those pieces in place. So the will, if you're dead, the power of attorney if you're not able to act for yourself, and the health representative agreement, so that if you have really strong ideas about what interventions you do or do not want from the medical system, to have those in place. The power of attorney, if you don't have anyone you trust or want to be involved in your finances, you can hire someone to do that.
So planning.
Yes,
right?
planning.
Planning. So start planning when you start making money. Save your money, plan for retirement, plan for long-term care, plan for looking after things when you are no longer capable, and that will take you through. And so thank you very much, Nahani, for being here with us today on Wise Folk. I hope that you enjoyed it.